Hello and welcome back to the channel. So there was no locals last weekend. So here's another Blue Eyes deck profile. Why am I doing it so soon after the other? Well, because I have made a permanent change. And that is, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, I'm going to be trying Blue Eyes Invoked. Now, I have been playtesting this against two of my other decks, and I'm enjoying it. It's still the same, normal Blue Eyes combos, just with a way to not get nibbed. Um, but every time I get a new deck, I like to uh, match it with the playmat. Now, obviously, this is not a Blue Eyes playmat. Um, it's more of just a standard Yu-Gi-Oh playmat. So what I have done is I have gone and gotten myself a new playmat from AliExpress to match with Blue Eyes. So, yeah. And here it is. So this is my new mat specifically for Blue Eyes. It just arrived today. A few days before this video is actually supposed to be out, because I'm recording this on the Monday, and I love it because as you know, I like to match my decks with playmats. That's what I've done. For the four decks that I have a Yubel mat, I have a Vanquisol mat, I have a Galaxy Ice mat, and now I have a Kaiba Blue Eyes mat. So anyway, with that 2 minute ramble out of the way, let's get cracking into into this list. So obviously starting off with two Blue Eyes White Dragon. That's the current going ratio, and I like to have the OG SDK Blue Eyes. Granted, both of my copies have seen better days, but I don't mind that. I prefer having older cards be a bit played, because it kind of tells a story. In a sense, it shows that they're well loved. So moving on to the rest of the engine pieces, being of course the triple Sage with Eyes of Blue, the one card starter if you don't have access to your Invoked engine. Being able to add Maiden to hand straight off the bat, or even if needs be, it can add Effect Veiler, and then you link it into your Link 1 and pop off from there. And the fact that the search isn't a hard once per turn, which is very interesting. So, yeah. Moving on, as you would have seen, I am, of course, playing Triple Maiden. By the time this video comes out, I should hopefully have my third secret upgrade. You do also want to see this in your opening hand or have a way to get to it. So that way you can pitch it to grave to get access to your True Light. Now, two cards that I play definitely won't be seen in a lot of Blue Eyes Invoked lists. I threw it in because I initially was playing three different hand traps, but it kind of was fucking me over. In my test sense, I was always seeing multiple hand traps and not enough engines, so I cut out the three hand traps, and instead I've added back in two Neo Kaiser Seahorse. It's still an extender. Once I control a Blue Eyes, I can use it as an extender. It's also a way to get into the Blue Eyes Ultimate Spear Dragon if I want to hard make it. And it's a way to dump Jet Dragon to grave. If just to have engraves that way, if something gets destroyed, Jet Dragon can come back. Speaking of Jet Dragon, there it is. Hasn't gone anywhere, won't probably go anywhere. Moving on then to the Blue Eyes spells. I am, of course, playing triple Wishes for Eyes of Blue. I have a second and a third secret rare on its way. So that way, aside from being QCR, it's max rarity. I also play, of course, the one Roar of the Blue-Eyed Dragons. I play the one Ultimate Fusion because it's an extra pop, because Majesty is a pop in itself, but Ultimate Fusion can also do that. Plus, it's a way to shuffle back in a extra copy of Tyrant Dragon into the extra deck if I so choose. And then the last of the spells here is Mausoleum, being the field spell. As for the two traps, it is True Light and Majesty, as you would have seen. And that is essentially the Blue Eyes engine that I am playing in this list. Like I said, I've been play testing this quite a bit. I'm hoping to bring it to locals this weekend. So hopefully there will be a return of the local chronicles. And I definitely enjoy this list. I definitely enjoy playing it. So it'll be interesting to actually bring it to locals. So moving on to the Invoked engine. So I, of course, am playing triple Alistair the Invoker. You do and you don't want to see this in your opening hand, because if you already open, say, your Magical Meltdown, it's if you open that plus Meltdown, it's kind of a dead card. But Meltdown would be a dead card, not Alistair. So that way you can normal summon Alistair, link into Sage, obviously after you add your invocation, and go from there. So obviously I'll probably will show off a test hand, or that might be a separate video. We'll wait and see. Now here is where my list again differs from many people. So you've seen that I played the 2 Neo Kaiser. Well, I added in a third Magical Meltdown. Now, from playtesting, I don't see Meltdown as much. I really don't. I see Alistair more than I would see Meltdown, which is very interesting, considering I play both at the exact same ratio, and yet I only see Alistair more than I do Meltdown. And then the last card in the Evoked engine is, of course, Invocation. So yeah, that's you don't really need much in terms of the Invoked engine. It's literally just you can get away with 2 Meltdown if you want, 1 Invocation and 3 Alistair, or if you're feeling up to it, you could add in a second Invocation, but really just 1 is fine, because the moment you use it, you can get it back as well by adding Alistair back from your banished. So, there is that. I still play the small bestial package, being the 1 Baldrake, which is good because I can send one of my lights to grave and net me a banish of my opponent's special summon monsters if he's out there. Of course, then Bestial Magma Hunt to be able to get my dragon searches off, and then the Druid Worm as well. Yeah, no need. I'm happy enough with those. And then the last non-engine card here, we do have Pot of Prosperity, and then the rest are hand traps. 10 different hand traps, and as I showed off, I do play the triple Effect Veiler simply because it is searchable, which is amazing in this deck, because you can search it either off of Wishes or Sage, so you have multiple ways to get to that hand trap. And then, of course, I am playing the triple Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. I play 1 Call by the Grave, and then lastly, for the hand traps, I play triple Infinite Impermanence. And that is my deck list. So moving on to the extra deck, which is again slightly different than what most people would probably end up playing. So I main deck 2 Tyrant Dragon. Now, granted, the second one doesn't always come up, but I can always, Ultimate Fusion, shuffle one of them back into the deck to be able to make the other one, by shuffling in as well another Blue Eyes, and going from there. Next, of course, is the Neo Kaiser. The Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. And then for the Invoked Fusion Monsters, I play just 3. And that is Invoked and Goides. Making this with a fusion monster, banishing a fusion monster to gain that monster's attack. I have actually used. So in one of my test duels against Galaxy Eyes, I did end up using it. A weird tech that I threw in was Invoked Caliga. So it's Alistair plus a Dark Monster, which I can easily use one of my Bestials for. The reason why is because of its effect. If a player's monster effect attempts to activate, none of the player's monsters can activate their effects for the rest of this turn whilst this card is face up on the field. Either player can attack with only one monster during the battle phase. Now, obviously, that is it's situational. I'm not gonna lie, it is situational. I haven't made it yet. I've mainly just been banishing it off of prosperity. But it's a nice effect. It's a nice effect for if I choose to make it, because that kind of puts that as a target, more so other than any of my other cards. And then of course I do play the Invoked Mechaba. As for the synchros, it's basically the same. The triple Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, the one Azure Eyes, as well as now just one Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon, and then the one Light Storm Dragon, to round out the synchros. And then for the links, it is just 2 Spirit with Eyes of Blue. And then lastly is the one Hieratic Seal. Now, I do have a side deck. It's 10 cards. And that is simply because I just don't have enough of the same size sleeves. Because again, like the playmat here, I got my sleeves from AliExpress. Again, not sponsored by them in any way. But it only came in 50 sleeves instead of the usual 60. So unfortunately, I don't have enough for a full side deck. But I can let you know some what I would probably add in. So my side deck currently consists of 3 Nibiru. I don't like having this in my main deck. And if you watch my local Chronicle series long enough, you know exactly why I don't like main deck in Nibiru. And that is simply because, yes, it can, especially during the mirror match, it can come up. And I've seen other players, it does. However, for me, one time, and it's why I never do it again, when I was going up against Connor in locals, I sided in 3 Nibirus. This is back when he was playing Heroes. And my opening hand consisted of 2 Nibirus. And then my draw for turn, because I was going second, was the 3rd Nibiru, which is why you can define the exact video I'm referring to. Just look for the one with the 3 Nibirus as the thumbnail. That is why I don't like main deck in Nibiru. I didn't even main deck it for that video. I sided it in. But even then, I'm still very antsy about siding in Nibiru. Then, of course, 3 Droll Lock for the mirror match. Harpies, Feather Duster, again for the mirror match. Or even if I manage to go up against Fiendsmith. 1 Skill Drain, probably just to test it out. And then lastly, 2 Solemn Strikes. So what would be the other 5 cards that I would put in my side deck? I would probably go for 3 Ghost Bell and 2 Lightning Storm to make it up to the 15 card side deck. That's just me personally. So that is that. So let me quickly run through the one card combo that Alistair is in this. So let me just zoom all the way out so you can see everything. So you, as I said, you want to have Alistair in your opening hand. So what you're going to do is you will normal summon Alistair, or no, here's let me do it properly. Let me get Magical Meltdown. So you have Meltdown. You in your opening hand, you immediately go to activate it. Then you add your Alistair to hand. Then you normal summon Alistair, and then you will add from here your invocation to hand. So now with invocation in hand, you send Alistair to the grave to perform a link summon of Spirit. Spirit effect will then trigger, allowing you to add where are you? Mausoleum. So then you send your Meltdown to the grave and you activate your Mausoleum. From here, you use Mausoleum to target the spirit and you send Blue Eyes to grave. Now, hopefully, in your opening hand, you will have either opened with Sage and Sage and Maiden. So this should be somewhat of your remaining of your opening hand. Plus, we'll say just one unknown for the moment. Now, you don't need these two just yet to go there. So we're up to 2. So we'll say then we will tribute the spirit to special summon Blue Eyes. So that is summon number 3. So then what we'll do for summon number 4 is we will then invocation, banish the spirit, banish the Alistair. And for our 4th summon, we will then get out Mechaba. Then we, with invocation in the grave, we'll add that back to deck, and then we will net our Alistair for the effect of Mechaba to stop a nib. So we'll say we don't have Maiden in hand. We just have these. Next, we'll use the extra normal summon to summon Sage, which Sage will then add us Maiden. And from here, we will just synchro those two. Just do that. Into our Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. Next, we will send Maiden to grave, and we will set True Light face up. Now, we will use True Light's effect to net us back Blue Eyes, which will then net us back Maiden. And then from here, we will again immediately synchro into our second spirit. Or if we felt like, we could go for Azure Eyes. And then pass turn there, like maybe active and during your opponent's standby phase, activate True Light to set Majesty or Wishes or something like that. So that is an ideal end board because we have 1 interruption, 2 interruptions, and either a protect, or if we really wanted, we could just end on another spirit, and that would be so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 interruptions because of the graveyard negate, and then because we made it, we can turbo it into ultimate, and there we go. So that has been just a quick little demonstration on the one card combo, essentially, of Alistair into making Mechaba by the fourth the fourth summon. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought of my list in the comments down below, and let me know what you thought of the small little combo tutorial. And I will hopefully see you all next week for bringing this deck to locals for a episode of Local Chronicles. I will see you all on the very next upload.